Hi there, and welcome to day 3 of Pharmacology 2021 on the Daily Dot. Well, what a week it's been. Today I thought I would start off with just a bit of a break. It's been a busy week, and also knowing I had my talk coming up later on, thought I'll just have a bit of a step back and clear my head a bit. I had a wee bit of a break. You've got to pace yourself. Conferences can be quite draining actually, no matter how fun they are. And so if that's something that's useful to just kind of articulate, I think you can take time out, it's fine. So then I looked over my talk. There's a link to where speakers were sent their recordings. So I had to look through that just to get some of the ideas and points to the front of my mind again, and had a look at a couple of the other talks as well, and start to see some common themes coming across. So then I attended part of the symposium on healthy ageing, and I think this is an area that's it needs much more prominence. I think it was absolutely fascinating. Needs a lot more attention, ageing. So a couple of points that stood out for me. One was the difference between AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning, or ML. So I'm thinking, I can't remember, it's been a long day, I will go back and check this, but machine learning is possibly a subset of AI. Their terms sometimes are thought of as interchangeable, but they are not. So I will go back and check. But AI and machine learning, and this was in context of a talk on understanding disease and prescribing patterns in big data by Dr. Lauren Walker, based in Liverpool. This was absolutely fascinating. I heard a very interesting statistic a few months back now when I was preparing a talk for something else, which was that all of the data, or 90% of all the data in the world, has been generated in the last 2 years. There is so much information out there, we are drowning in it. So there's a huge focus now on just analysing data and what are we going to do with all of this. So big data is a thing, and if you like numbers, and there's so much you could get involved in there. So there are people generating data, and we need to keep doing that, but big data, how do we handle huge data sets? So this was fascinating in the context of healthcare, particularly in the elderly ageing population. So that was one theme from that session, and another one was polypharmacy, where people just keep getting medications added in, and reviewing the medication someone is on is again something that there's getting a lot more focus on now. So there you go. So then in the afternoon, I had to look through the speaker instructions. So there was some technical details and so on, just to do with the setup. So I got everything ready, got myself ready, and then we went into our session. So this was on science careers out with academia and industry. Yesterday, when alluding to this, I made a little blooper, so I'll perhaps compose a blooper reel for later viewing. Anyhow, science careers out with academia and industry. And my talk was entitled Science Careers Within Education and Business, from Students to Science Clubs. So from that whole symposium, there were various speakers talking about public engagement, about various things to do with the NHS, other things like that. And three key themes came out, at least that I noticed, and you might have picked up on more, so let me know your thoughts. So for me, what did I notice? Well, transferable skills was one. And actually, I think that's a phrase that's maybe getting a bit overused. People think, oh yeah, skills, transferable skills. But maybe what we should be thinking about is an overlap of skills, where skills from one area and skills from another, there's lots and lots of overlap, say, between science and academia and other areas. And that came up time and time again, where people are using the skills they've developed as scientists in academia in all sorts of different contexts. And I spoke about that too when describing some of the things to do with Dr. Science Club, where we're encouraging skills development in the young scientists I work with. So transferable skills, or skills overlap, was a key thing that came out. Another one was to do with academic mindset and culture. It can be quite draining, and when you get into the wider world, so to speak, and again it came through in a lot of these presentations, it came up, and maybe it was in the chat discussion between the speakers, but is it the academic mindset and culture that is actually the outlier, and all these other things are a more kind of usual way of doing things? So that's one to ponder. Let me know what you think. And then another theme that came up from a few people had mentioned in various contexts, but one of our speakers put it quite succinctly: ditch that imposter syndrome. You can do it. You can do these things you put your mind to. There is life outside of and beyond academia and industry. Ditch that imposter syndrome. And then that session finished and we moved on to the final plenary to wrap up the entire conference. This was fabulous. This was from Professor Dame Sarah Gilbert, who, along with colleagues, developed the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. And after Professor Gilbert's presentation, the chair alluded to, the concerns about the speed in which things have been done vaccine-wise for COVID-19. The chair had mentioned about this breakneck speed that's often talked about. It is in fact built on years and years and years, decades of research and skills, and being ready to go, or being able to very quickly just put all of that experience into doing a specific thing that's needed at that time. And Professor Sarah Gilbert was working in, obviously, developing vaccines anyway. So this has not happened overnight. It absolutely hasn't. It's not happened in the last year or the last few months. This is based on so many years of dedication by so many people. And one thing I learned yesterday, remember one of the things I said I was going to do was to have a go at this interactive platform where you can talk to people live. I thought a platform called Wonder. So I stepped in there, and yes, guess who I met there? The CEO of the BPS. All these TLAs, 3-letter acronyms. But I met Rachel Lambert Forsyth in this platform yesterday. This was fabulous. We had a great chat, and Rachel put me onto a book. So we were having a chat about that kind of thing, about vaccine development and the speed of it and all of that, built on all this preceding work by very, very experienced scientists and also new people coming on board. Anyway, decades of work. And Rachel mentioned to me a book called Vaxxers. So Dame Sarah Gilbert is one of the authors. Another author is Catherine Green, and they were involved in all of this. So a book called Vaxxers, which is the inside story of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine and the race against the virus. So get that book. Yeah. Not an advert, I just think there's so much we were talking also about misinformation partway through the conference. I missed that session, but I will go back and have a look because the sessions are available on demand for delegates up until the end of the year. So this was kind of a recurring theme. And anyway, just thought I'd mention that. And so, yep, a source of further information. So, I'm going to leave it there. What a week it has been. Thanks very much for just coming in and watching these wee videos, and hope you enjoyed the conference. I'll see you next year in Liverpool for Pharmacology 2022. I'm sure I'll be there. And then the year after, the World Congress in Pharmacology is going to be in Glasgow in 2023. So some upcoming things for you. So yeah, now I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to go and get some dinner and then maybe do some meditation. So thank you very much. Take care and see you soon on the Daily Dot. Bye for now.